Night Stalker, Dragon Stalker, Crypt Stalker, Demon Stalker, Rift Stalker, Ground Stalker, Crypt Stalker, Scourge Stalker, Wind Runner, I'm a pony, lead skill hunter. A death dealer, a life stealer, that's just the cost of being awesome sauce.
And welcome to episode 243 of the Hunting Party Podcast. I am Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Delirium from Throw of the Wild and at Delirium Hunts on Twitter.
I'm Bendak from Eyes of the Beast, Blizzard Watch, and Bendak WoW on Twitter.
And I'm RogerBrown from methodwow.com and at methodroger on Twitter.
All right, today is Sunday, August the 7th, 2016, and we are broadcasting live on twitch.tv. You can participate in the live chat room where our lovely moderator, Ali Sonder, is there to take your questions. And yeah, please send us your questions because I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but we'll figure out something. But we're kind of a little bit light on just overall Hunter news for today. One of the big things sort of came up this week was changes to the camera view. I guess this is one of those big things. This is like one of those sort of controversies, kind of like flying, where Blizzard just nerfed the camera zoom, and then I forget what the add-on was called, but someone came up with an add-on that let you bypass the limits of it, and then Blizzard basically is about to nerf that. They said they're taking advantage of kind of a long-standing bug, but they did say they were going to increase the camera zoom to about halfway between where it is now and where it was before 7.0. So does that seem like a pretty good compromise to everyone?
Yeah, I saw actually what it's going to be at on the beta, and to be honest, it's pretty much perfect. That's fine, basically. I think it is a little bit less than what you were able to do in the past, but it's still good enough. Good enough. I'm happy with the end result.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I also played with it a little bit. I don't think it looks bad. The issue is just if they continue to make bosses bigger and bigger and bigger, then it's going to be problematic. But I think it's fine for ranged being able to see all the mechanics coming. There's enough room now.
And have you looked at it, Bendak? Do you think it's going to be fine now too?
Yeah, I think it's the compromise it's pretty good. It's enough for me. I mean, I might feel different if I was a melee class, but for ranged, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel bad for melee and tanks, but what do I care? My pet can't see very well, but I can.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't played melee, so I never really thought of it from the melee perspective. But I mean, I not even sure how far out you could have really zoomed prior to this, but I'm pretty sure that I never really went like the full max distance. That even that was probably a little bit too small to be useful. But I went further than what they had changed it to in 7.0. So I think this is probably going to be good enough for certainly the ranged classes, which is, well, I guess what we used to be primarily, except for now if you play survival, maybe you'll have something new to complain about. But yeah, I think this is sort of typical of what they do, right? They nerf something too far one way, and then they wait and see what the reaction is, and then they kind of come to their senses and come with a compromise. So this will be good, just in time for all the new raids and dungeons coming in Legion at the end of the month.
Yeah, just another case of if the community cries about the topic enough, then they actually listen.
They do. They don't. I mean, and Blizzard's done that before. Obviously, with Flying and Warlords, they've done that. I mean, I think there's been times when they've stood their ground. And again, here's another add-on that I cannot remember the name of it was, but back in Wrath of the Lich King, but it was the one that pretty much trivialized a lot of the mechanics. It allowed you to basically draw stuff on the ground and really highlight some of the things that were happening. And I cannot remember the name of it, but they nerfed that, and they stood their ground that time. I mean, they did add things like the raid markers that we have now, sort of was a result of that, seeing a need for those types of things. But that was the one time I think where they really killed something that the community really liked. And they didn't go back on that. So I'm sure someone in the chat room probably remembers what the name of that was. I just can't remember. It was a great add-on while it lasted, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was in ICC.
Yes.
There was on Putris. Professor Putricide or something, or what was that name? The mad scientist.
Yeah,
boss.
Professor Putricide. Yes.
Yeah, and there were some add-ons which it was an add-on that showed on the ground like a different color and where you should stand and things like that. I think it got sort of used in the same way on Archimont though. Like I don't know, they found a way. I think the French found a way to use something similar, where you would see the lines on the actual ground, kind of, for the lasers. But yeah, that's a topic where Blizzard is firmly against, and they're trying to remove that because I'm kind of on their side on this one because if you can change what you're seeing on your screen apart from separate add-ons, then I don't know, it's too much, it's too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on. There were some hot fixes since the last time we were here, which was with the release of 7.0. I guess casting disengage no longer causes your character to stop auto attacking. That's good. There was something else too. I don't know if I caught it here in the notes. With auto targeting, I think it was like some people had noticed this. When
barrage.
Yeah, was it barrage? I don't know. So, when you killed something, it would automatically target something else, I believe.
Well, that's how it used to be. I think it stopped doing that. So before it was doing, you get twice as much on your main target.
Mm-hmm.
So if your main target dies, then that double damage would switch to a different target. And I think the problem was it wasn't doing that, or it wasn't retargeting something. So you just get the spray damage, not the main damage. I haven't heard if that's been fixed or not, though.
Yeah, that I don't know. I'm not sure. So here's an interesting one. Hunter, Shaman, Mage, Warlock, and Death Knight pets have been trained to move around more smoothly and better adjust to player pathing when the player is moving. How has the pet AI been this time? It always seems like it gets tinkered with a little bit when we have major changes with this, but has anyone noticed a problem with that, Bendak, at all?
I did. After their servers restarted, it was smoother when you're moving, but they still have that little delay when you stop, and they kind of stop and then they wait like 5 seconds and then they move beside you. But as for when you're moving, it seems pretty smooth now. As for pet AI in general, it's still kind of a mess. It's just you got to put like /pet attack in some of your attacks and stuff like that, or else the pet just won't switch. Or say you're beast cleaving and then your main target dies, the pet will just like run back to you. So you got to put /pet attack in like your multi-shot and stuff like that.
Yeah, in sort of what mode is everyone putting their pets in? Are you doing like defensive or passive, assist? What seems to be working well? I've heard different things from people.
I usually just use assist in combat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm using assist as well, but the pet attack in a macro is actually nice also to have. So you have both, and it somehow works kind of. But yeah, the problem is that when you kill a mob and then the pet starts running back to you, as you just said, and especially with Hati as well. If you're playing BM and you have Hati, that's also kind of meh because it follows what your main pet is doing, but I think there's some kind of delay, so it's not like instant. Specifically, like if you tell your pet to follow you, you want to stop attacking a target, then your pet will instantly do it, but Hati will take a second or two to do it. At least that's last time I played with it. That's how it was, which is kind of frustrating. Feels like you have, your two children. One of them is very smart. The other one is kind of, delayed. And you're like, I gotta take care of him as well. I guess I'll wait.
Oh boy, it's always something. And that, of course, Hattie. That will just impact Beast Mastery, of course, which I guess is some small consolation there. But it seems Beast Mastery is going to be a very popular spec, I think, in this expansion. which we've talked about quite a bit. What else? Raptor Strike will now correctly apply Viper Sting or Scorpion Sting based on the talent chosen. I didn't realize there was a bug there. Dragon's Fire Grenade now deals damage starting on impact. What was it doing before? Was it waiting till...
Yeah, it was only doing the dot.
Okay.
Which is not a huge deal, but it's nice.
No. Binding Shot gives the affected target immunity from Binding Shot for 10 seconds as intended. Didn't realize that was broken.
Yep.
There you go. What else we got? The tooltip for Aspect of the Eagle has been corrected to reflect the spell, spell bonus. To reflect the bonus the spell provides. In addition, the bonus provided by Aspect of the Eagle now stacks with Mastery. Let's see. Hunters are no longer able to capture / assault objectives in PvP while they have Aspect of the Turtle active. Which were you able to do that with deterrence? I suspect deterrence probably didn't let you do that.
Well, you
before.
couldn't carry a flag and use it, or whatever the other things were. But you could, the ones where you stand in a certain area to gain the objective, you could do that. So I'm not sure. I haven't tried PvP because it's terrible in 7.0, but I'm not sure what this will mean for if that applies to all objectives or if it's just the same, carry the flag kind of issue.
Yeah, Munchiefest in the chat room saying in AB you could cap with Turtle. And he said you couldn't do it with deterrence, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe, I'm sure that's the idea here, is that they're probably trying to make it behave similar to deterrence. Which sort of begs the question, maybe they could have just left deterrence in the game.
Yeah.
As it was.
2 stacks would be nice
Yeah.
instead of just 1. But yeah, I think the problem is also because Aspect of the Turtle is 8 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So it's longer than deterrence used to be. So if you could, if you can just basically use Aspect and then do a full cap, because I think it's 8 seconds to cap as well, yeah? So that could have been an issue. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't played at all PvP, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred the old deterrence with the 2 charges, rather than having a longer duration on an Aspect of the Turtle. Only because there are times, right, where you just need it. You don't need it for 8 seconds. You just need it for a couple of seconds to deflect some damage, and then you have that macro to cancel it. So that's where I think the old version.
When did we get that? We got the 2 charges when we lost readiness. Was that it, or what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In MOP. Yeah, that was nice.
Yep. I would give up something else to have those 2 stacks again. What should we give up? I don't know.
I don't know what they would
give
do.
up kill shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait.
I don't know what would be a fair trade, but we could probably give up Aspect of the Cheetah at this point. They could take that away.
Right.
Yeah.
They practically have.
Super useful.
They finally did fix the Oxen and the Scalehide families. Now all have their basic attack. So which
Can't
is
believe
good.
it went live like that.
I know.
And we just
I'm telling you, I
bask
sent
in
a
how
bug in for
ridiculous
that.
that was.
I sent a bug in for that months and months ago. I was surprised it went live too, but at least they fixed it fast. It was only a couple days, I think, before they hotfixed it.
Yeah, it didn't stay live very long, but it stayed known for a while. That's for sure. It seemed like. Which always makes you wonder how they design, how they're able to introduce these things. Are they all the pets that unique that they have to kind of, I don't know, code or in other words, you just think everything's a hunter pet automatically has this built in as sort of a template that they have. But I guess I don't know how it all works.
Well, I think they do, but they had to pick whether it was bite, claw, or smack. So that's where they missed it.
So something else they're trying out too, and I'm not. They're making changes, I guess, to these stat PvP template changes. And I know none of us play PvP, so I'll rely on you guys to kind of say what you think all this means more so than what I know. But they've changed it really for marksmanship. So the agility is 115% up from 100. Mastery was down to 75%, down from 100. Haste was up 175% from 100, and then critical strike 50% down from 100. And then they had spell multipliers. Mark shot deals 80% of damage in PvP. So again, are these what just sort of?
I mean, I guess it's whatever, right? Like I don't know.
I feel,
And this is just for the base, right? Like
Mhm.
the
I
starting.
think so.
I think.
Yeah, you're starting at. I believe so.
So I guess the biggest one seems to be the critical strike for marksmanship. It's like cutting it in half. Like I don't know how much that is. Is it like 5% crit?
that's the same way it worked in Warlords too, though.
What?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Critical strikes did half as much damage in
No,
Warlords.
I think this is chance.
I think
Right.
I was
Like,
gonna say
oh,
this is
but
probably the chance, not the
It's lower,
damage.
isn't it a lower chance, but they're still doing the full damage for critical strikes, or are they doing both nerfs?
No, it's
I don't
because
know.
only marksmanship got a nerf that big for critical strike. It's not every spec.
So yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
guess
wow.
it's double,
Huh.
like half the chance and probably half the damage. That would be my guess.
Yeah, that's pretty intense then. And the survival ones are insane also.
Yeah, mastery
yeah,
25%. What?
Yeah,
Already it's kind of useless.
and they bumped up the armor for survival to do 125% haste, 50% down. I mean, they really nerfed survival. I don't know if it was that good in PvP. Critical strikes down to 75%, and versatility they doubled that to 200%, up from 100%. So. So maybe we'll find someone who knows PvP at some point to come in. We'll get Dilly or somebody, because look, and we know this is no surprise to no one. We just don't play PvP enough to really understand what the heck all of that means. There were some other.
Seems like they're nerfing quite a lot of the damage though.
Mhm.
Like Murder of Crows, cutting 2/3 of the damage in PvP.
Yeah.
March Shot also nerfed. Baraz, I don't know. As far as I know, Baraz is better than Murder, but yeah. So it's kind of interesting seeing how Murder is nerfed more than Baraz. Even in single target, that is. I don't know. Were Hunters doing extremely well on the beta? I have no
Maybe
idea.
sounds like maybe they were a little bit higher than they should, because Beast Mastery too, like Cobra Shot's going to deal 75% damage, and then Kill Command dealing 80% damage. But here's what I'll say about all of this. I'm happy to see that they're able to now adjust the damage in all of these spells for PvP independently of PvE, because that did not always used to be the case. And we used to just go pull our hair out to see some wonderful spell work that was perfectly fine in PvE, but it was broken in PvP. But they had to nerf it for PvE, and it looks like they've gotten to the point where they don't have to do that anymore. Which is really, really nice, you know. And I don't know if they started that in Warlords or if that, I don't know that was completely new to Legion, but, you know, a couple of expansions back, we would have just been going, why? Because this would have just killed PvE for us in some fashion, I'm sure. So that is nice. I'm glad to see that. That's kind of all the news and hot fixes. So I don't know what you guys feel like talking about this week. I know, Bendak, you wrote a nice article for Locked and Loaded over at BlizzWatch. This came out the other day about what sort of soloing and questing is looking like in Legion. And I mean, we're not talking about extreme soloing, but just kind of, you know, the way the Hunter playstyle has changed from what it was in terms of pet management and everything else. You know, we thought we might want to look at that, or unless there's anything any of you particularly want to talk about topic-wise?
No, I think just as a general thing, it's nice to see that marksmanship is doing well as well. It's not just beast mastery, so I'm kind of glad in terms of that. It means that we might actually have to think about which spec we want to play, and it's not going to be everybody going BM, but we'll see. Yeah.
Well, what have you noticed so far? Because that's we've kind of been wondering about that too. I mean, whether or not that's. I mean, Beast Mastery. I mean, so it's just a question of, are we at a point though where hey, just play whatever one you like, and really, I mean, survival is just kind of out there off on its own. I mean, I don't know. We haven't really been factoring survival into the equation all that much, just because it's melee. It's like a completely different class. But choosing between beast mastery and marksmanship is certainly a choice that we'd have to looking to make. And is one standing out over the other right now? Do you think, in terms of damage?
I think it depends on the boss, but BM is easier and more flexible, so you can move around and do whatever you want. MM is more on bosses where you can map out your movement and you're not like doing crazy stuff. I don't know. It's more for bosses that you just need to push the deeps, single target mainly. Maybe some quick AoE with your barrage because you don't really have any other AoE. Yeah. Like the boss that we tested last time, Crossus. Don't know if you know. It's for the Nighthold. It's a second raid that's going to be released in the new expansion. Anyways, there's a boss where it's basically single target, and then at some point you get all of these ads spawning around randomly that don't move. So it's pretty much perfect because you get to single target the boss, and then you just press a barrage when the ads spawn. You get pretty insane, value out of that barrage because the mobs are spread out, so the other classes can't really AoE more efficiently than you. So I think on that boss, MM is the perfect choice compared to BM. But on other bosses where you have to constantly move around, I think BM is going to shine a lot more. Like that anomaly boss. Man, I really need to learn these names. Yeah, there is a boss where you can constantly run around the room. Like all the raid moves around the room. Like BM is going to be better for that for sure. So I think basically with the buffs that they've done to MM lately, it's going to be a viable option for certain bosses. We'll have to see how much gear we'll have and how much artifact power, but it's not as one-sided as I thought it would be.
And then that's sort of the question, though. So I mean, we do envision a situation now where we're maybe basing your spec on specific encounters. Do you see yourself, flipping back and forth, say, between beast mastery and marksmanship as you go through it? And
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then thus having to now maintain both your artifact weapons. And I don't know how big of a challenge that will be. And maybe it won't be too bad.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. The thing is, the way that the artifact power is working, at some point it just goes way up, right? The cost of your points. So depending on how fast the first raid is going to be released, which will mean how much artifact knowledge you will have, it might not be that bad because, okay, instead of putting one extra point on one of your weapon, you just catch up with your second weapon, basically. If you actually reach that threshold where you start going into the 10,000 artifact power needed, and you're only getting like 50, and yeah, at that point, yeah. But yeah, it's so hard to tell, honestly. Until they give us at least a release date for the first raid, I cannot really tell. Because they're keeping it a secret still. I don't know why.
And what about you, Bendak? I mean, are you still leaning beast mastery at this point, or probably going to try and keep your options open with say marksmanship or even survival? I mean, I guess that's the other question too. Is survival? We haven't talked much about it just because it's melee, but I mean, I don't know that we've ruled it out as a raid spec. If anyone's ruled it out, I mean, it should. What are your thoughts on it for raiding?
Survival, I mean, it's not really for me for that, but I will have marksmanship as a secondary spec, and from what it looks like, it should be fairly easy to keep your second artifact at about 80% of the progress of your main one without too much trouble, just because of how it exponentially increases. I think it's like the 14th trait you unlock cost as much as the previous 13 combined. So starting off a new artifact, you should be able to get at least one of the golden traits really quick. But I think at the start, I'm just going to dump all the points into the BM1.
And what about you, Delirium? Are you looking to do something similar, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really have a plan until we see a little more tuning. And I mean, I'm prepared to play whichever one somebody tells me to play. I don't think any of them are particularly more fun. I think survival actually is my favorite rotation. I just hate melee, and it's kind of has no utility or purpose. So I don't know between MM and BM. Maybe MM if it's viable, but I'm open to whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've always preferred range. So yeah, then same with me. Right now, I'm leaning towards Beast Mastery as the primary, with MM as the secondary, and definitely want to try and be able to do both, right, and be flexible in that regard. So I think that'll be my plan. Yeah, when did they release the raids for Warlords of Draenor? I mean, I know they haven't said when they would do it for Legion, but I would think that they'd probably have a similar time frame in mind.
It's usually 2 or 3 weeks after leveling, or 2 or 3 weeks of leveling. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the problem is the extra week is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's 2 weeks, you cannot do much, honestly. It's going to be very, very tight. If it's 3 weeks, then you can play a bit around with your artifacts, with your gear in general, with your alts.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks is very little time, especially when you're going to have only like level 3 artifact knowledge. You get no artifact power at all, basically.
And I imagine they'll stagger it too, like they had done before. But do they usually do? Is Mythic released? Do they hold off on that, or they can't remember if they released that
1 week later.
1 week later.
1 week later, yeah.
I mean, they usually set it up so you have to clear it normal, or heroic, I should say.
They didn't do that since introducing Mythic.
Yeah. So it's just released 1 week after, basically. That's about it.
But if you couldn't clear heroic and normal in the first week, you're probably not going to have much luck with Mythic the first week it's open.
But I imagine, Roger, you guys will just dive into Mythic as soon as those doors as soon as it becomes available.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
As soon as the servers come up, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be. It looks like they're not changing much in terms of the loot system or whatever. So probably gonna be the same old heroic week. You just spam 5 groups of heroic raid, doing the split raids. Then doing some mythic dungeons as well, mythic pluses as much as possible from that. Because gotta remember, what they said was. You know how the Titan Forged, you can get higher level item if it's Titan Forged, and then it rolls again and you can get even higher Titan Forged, keeps going. But they said that the cap of what eye level you can get before the heroic week gets released is going to be 850. So no matter what, you're not going to have an 855 item level item before the heroic raid is opened. But as soon as that happens, the cap will increase to 895, which means that theoretically you could get super lucky and be 895 high level overall. But yeah, that means that the heroic week will be super stressful. We're going to have to do heroic raids, mythic dungeons, as I said, like as much as possible from all of that, just in case you get lucky and you get that sick loot. And then as soon as the mythic doors open on Wednesday for us EU plebs, then we're going to go straight in there and see what's up, see if it's possible to do clear the whole raid in the first week.
And then, so what does the competition look like? Are there a lot more? I mean, are you seeing, has it sort of shrunk a little bit in terms of the guilds that are now sort of competing for world first, or what have you noticed?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, over the years, it's been less and less guilds that compete. And the thing is that there are not that many players anymore as well. A lot of people who started playing World of Warcraft back in 2005 now have quit, and there's not that many new players coming in anymore. It's very hard. I can't imagine many people who would start playing World of Warcraft now and would be, oh, let's go hardcore raiding, you know? If someone comes back to the game, probably plays it a bit more casually. So yeah, there's no new blood compared to other games, like, I don't know, Counter-Strike or whatever, League of Legends. So that's the main problem. There's less players around, which means less guilds. And right now, I would say there's probably 3 or 4 guilds. Mainly, obviously I have to include ourselves. And then Serenity, obviously, very high contender for the #1 spot. And then there's the usual Russians, the French, don't know, maybe the US surprise us. I don't know, we'll see. That's about it. There's like 1 guild in each region, its place, and yeah, we'll see.
And Ali was sort of mentioned something about Asia in there, but doesn't Asia have? Isn't there? I thought at one point in time they had like a slightly different setup in terms of the game than we did. Weren't they getting like higher eye level gear at one point? Maybe that's no longer the case. I don't know. I just remember it just seemed kind of strange to me. Like it was like, I don't know why that was.
Yeah, they've had different stuff for in the past. I think it's not the case anymore. I think they have the exact same stuff as us. But yeah, in the past, for example, they had the 4 upgrades, and we only had 2 upgrades basically, or something like that. And they had at some point they reset twice a week. The raids reset twice a week, like as an experiment. I don't know, but I guess they didn't like it. I honestly don't know what's up in the Asia servers, but I think it's the same now. I haven't seen any serious competition coming from there for quite a while now. We'll see. Maybe the Chinese pick up their weapons. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll get all the legendaries, and then they'll beat us.
Do you think that'll be a big part of the world first? Getting those legendaries, whoever gets lucky with drops?
Yeah, I think so. Especially for the first tier.
But that's just... go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, because you get the sick item, 895, and if it's the proper one, it's insane. I don't know, it's really big. It's compared to someone who doesn't get a single one, you're gonna be super, it's I cannot stress it enough. It's like getting the best trinket, basically, Warforged or Titanforged. It's gonna be the similar thing. Obviously, it's gonna have a huge impact. If you don't have the item, maybe you might get even replaced in the raid on some boss, because the other guy is gonna have the legendary that's gonna destroy the boss. I don't know. I think they've messed up quite big, letting those legendaries be in from the beginning. Would have been nice. Would have been nice if they had those legendaries as a future thing, like release it after a bit. Why give everything away instantly? I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems weird for that first at the beginning of the raid tier at least. And their answer was, so only 1 is available. Is that right? You can only equip 1 at the first tier. But that's still a huge upgrade over somebody who doesn't have any.
But still, like, imagine you level up, like the first day you level up, and you do some world quests, and boom, the first day you get a legendary. Like, what? What did you do to get a legendary? In the past, you had to work for months to get one, and now you can just get one the first day you play the game. Just like that. I don't know.
I hope I'm that lucky.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right now there are some people in the guild who have gotten 3 legendaries already in the beta. Wow. And obviously you don't play the beta as much as you will play live.
No, not at all.
So it's going to be very interesting to see. and I hope I get lucky and I get one of the good ones. There are some really bad legendaries, and the worst thing is that if you get a legendary, your luck resets, I assume, because there is a bad luck protection system in place. So you really don't want to get a crappy legendary, the first one that drops. You really don't want one.
But I imagine it's that first tier too that is probably what the most imbalanced of it, because when you go into whatever the second raid tier, you guys are all pretty much at the same gear level at that point, right? I mean, you've gotten up everything out of the mythic raids, you've farmed it, and so everyone's pretty much on the same playing field, much more even playing field, I guess, going into the second tiers. Whereas this first one, as you say, someone might have a legendary. Who knows what people's gear sets are going to look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Nighthold is going to be way better because you're going to have 3-4 months to get everything you want, and they probably, we still might be having unexpected tuning at the start of the expansion, which will mess up the roster that you want to go with, etc., etc. But I think at the Nighthold, everything will be laid out. You know what's up. There's no surprises, and you can prepare much better. Right now, the first raid is going to be a mess with the. Like, imagine if you put all your artifact power in your weapon, and then the day that the mythic comes out, your spec got nerfed, the other spec got buffed, and what do? We might have situations like that, I'm pretty sure, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, the artifact weapon really is different. It's a neat idea, but I just wonder if it sort of complicates things unnecessarily for that reason, where it really is it's tied to a spec, and we're used to being able to bounce around it. Not that we won't be able to do it, but I just feel like this is something that sort of adds some complexity to it. That isn't necessarily a good thing.
I wish that the artifact power was a bit more limited, that you couldn't just get it from everywhere. Because it feels like, whatever, I got some artifact power. Like, I wish the artifact power was more linked to raids and dungeons and maybe one or two other things, but not not like world quest. Like, you go there, you kill 10 mobs, you get artifact power. It kind of ruins the whole idea to me, that it's just a grind basically, and it's not something where I would have loved if it was kind of limited per week how much you can get by you get it from killing bosses. You can only kill the bosses once a week, right? And you get it from the mythic dungeons. You can only do them once a week, for example, something like that. Right now it's just kind of like everywhere, and go get it. Gotta catch them all, it's kind of weird. There's no way to control how much someone is gonna farm it, and it promotes people no lifing it, which I don't like.
Yeah, I guess it's just their answer to getting us out of our garrisons, where we just sat there and ran missions, and then time to go raid, and then that's when we left.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of no lifing it for a lot of people in those first few weeks. But if you're coming into the expansion later, it'd probably be a lot better because of the artifact knowledge and the other stuff they have for catch up. But yeah, you're basically. I'm gonna be in there checking my world map every 10 minutes, seeing if there's another artifact power quest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the world quests, I think I've said it again before, but I think they need to work on the rewards that you get from there. I mean, they're not going to remove artifact power now, even if I say so, but would have loved to have some work done there change a bit the rewards, remove the gold ones,
Mhm.
make them feel a bit cooler, and you decide what you want to do, sure. But right now it feels like, oh, I'm forced to go and get this because it's artifact power. Okay. Oh, I'm forced to do 4 quests. Let me do this gold one just to get the emissary box. I don't know. I would have loved if it was, for example, different kinds of currency that you can use to get pets or something. I don't know, more with professions instead of these boring profession quests. But at least I have the skinning, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, bring me 40 leather. Okay, I have it right here. So I just literally there's a world quest where you go there, and if you have the materials ready, you just talk to the guy and you're done. I don't know. I think they could have done a better job with the world quests, but maybe they are saving up, at least in that department, for later patches. Maybe there's going to be nicer quests down the line.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think they
kind
did
of like
say,
world quests. I was just gonna say I kind of like them, but it's different perspective than Roger. It's because you're gonna be spending so much time raiding and preparing for raiding that doing world quests is like this thing that you have to do when you should be sleeping or eating or something. But I think more casual players will probably like the system a little more. There's always just something to do, I guess.
yeah, so
it's,
it's like,
sorry, just wanted to say it's better than not having it for sure. I like it as an idea for sure. I just think it could have been done a bit better. Go on.
and I think, correct me if I'm wrong too, they are going to set up so I mean, I think initially, you probably will log in every day and want to do them, but aren't you going to be able to sort of store them up a little bit? They wouldn't just necessarily disappear right away. Or is that some of your order hall stuff, perhaps? I'm just trying to think. I thought they were going to have something in place so you didn't have to feel like you had to be logged in every minute of every day to get something done.
That's mainly for the emissary boxes. That like basically every day you get the box, which in order for you to get, you need to do 4 world quests for a different faction, and that's how you get the rep with them as well, basically. So you might want to do 4 quests in High Mountain, and then you get the box. So and that stores up to 3 days. So you don't play for 3 days, then you come back and you can do 4 quests in High Mountain, 4 quests in Azuna, and 4 quests for the Kirin Tor, which is some weird puzzle quests. Anyways, and you get all 3 boxes in the same day, basically. But and there's also quests that are longer duration, right? Like, for example, kill the world boss. That's gonna stay there for, I think, the whole week, right? It's not gonna go away instantly. Or some blue rewards ones, they will stay for a day or 2. But the greenies, I think, they stay for only a day and then they get replaced, basically.
Yeah, and I've seen a few that only last for a few hours too. I think I saw a couple like rewarded relics for your artifact, and it only had like three or 4 hours, I think. So there is, I guess that's kind of your reward if you're on there all the time and checking.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of add-on which tracks all of that, if there's not one already, and maybe sends you a message on your phone. Yo, get online right now.
Oh,
That would be
God.
awesome, right? That would be funny. But yeah, so in especially when you think about alts too, I mean, very few people just have one tune that they play. So yeah, that sounds like they're going to be plenty of reasons to keep busy initially, especially once you get to level 110, which I hopefully won't take too long to do. I actually haven't done it in the beta all the way through, so I'm not sure what the curve is or how long it takes to get to level 110, but I imagine it won't be too bad.
I think casually should take around 12 hours. It's not too bad. It's not too fast. Yeah. If you know what you're doing, you can probably do it in 8 hours. And if you go super hardcore, maybe even less. I don't know. But around 12 hours is a good number, as long as you start with some gear at least. You don't just go with a new character. Yeah.
So what else? I guess we got Demon Hunters on Tuesday. I guess they're technically kind of hunters, I guess, but I mean, they're starting to roll out stuff. But I'm just waiting for Legion at this point. I mean, I just feel I know that it's nice to have the current patch and the changes available to play and get used to, but it still sort of feels like it's a little bit of a content drought still until we get Legion. That's really when all the real fun begins. I mean, I haven't seen much yet in the way of the whole pre-invasion stuff going on. There's still not much to do there yet.
That starts on Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got pretty hyped watching the Harbingers video. I don't know if you've watched those.
I haven't.
Cool.
I haven't watched all of them yet, but I've started to.
Should watch the Illidan one, the latest one, the last one. It's pretty cool. I like those things very much. I don't know. Have you guys listened to there's like the Tomb of Sargeras? It's like it's only voices. I don't know.
The audio drama? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Have you listened to that, Bendak?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I plan to though.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't listened to it either. I just wanted to see if someone else did. Should be pretty cool. But what did I want to say? Yeah, you're saying it's a drought of content. I think this is a perfect time for you to, as you said, not a lot of people play only one character, so you better get set up with all your alts.
Yeah, I
Play a
should log
bit.
in some alts. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I mean, I have a bunch of hunters that are all level 100, but maybe I'll get another character of mine that's sitting at 90 and get them up there.
Yeah, and you need to fix a lot of things for your UI, most likely. Check which spec you're gonna play so that you don't just log in after the expansion starts and you're like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Kind of play a little bit around, maybe do a couple of dungeons. Also, go and check your bank. Maybe a lot of items you can throw out now, or there are toys now. I think I threw out like 20 new items that are toys and just toss them out or use them. Clean up a bit your bags,
Anyone who hasn't been playing in the beta, we need pretty much all new weak auras for each spec, so have fun writing all those.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that you can do already. Don't know if people are interested in doing it though, but you have some things to do at least.
No, that is true. I spent like when 7.0 dropped. I mean, that was like my first evening was just reconfiguring add-ons and cleaning up my bank and my inventory and just all that transmog stuff. Getting rid of all that. I mean, it's amazing how much free inventory slots I have now. It's unbelievable. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of free room, but I'm sure that I'll fill it up quite fast again with the new expansion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went and cleared out my void storage. I have no idea what I'm going to use that for now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still keeping my tiers that I have from back in the day. I don't think I'm gonna throw them out, even though I have the transmog. But the tier sets.
They disabled the set bonuses, so right? I mean, so there's no point to keeping them anymore. I don't think.
That's true. It's still cool to see it all, though.
Yeah. And I some of the old trinkets I keep. I hang on to the old trinkets. I have some of those that I'm just fond of and don't want to lose.
What are all these prismatic sockets that they just changed every socket and made it a prismatic, or what? Is that a new thing, or am I?
For the old gear?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Huh.
So it doesn't matter what you put in, I guess, anymore.
No.
Mess up my time walking sets.
Yeah, that's what I always thought was cool. I was surprised when they got rid of the old set bonuses because they were kind of neat for time walking purposes. You know, it was kind of fun to be able to have some where downgrade to that to some of that older gear and have those old bonuses just for fun.
Yeah, I think
mean-
they did it because they didn't want to remake all of the set bonuses because all the classes changed.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them just wouldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, that's true. What do I do with my time watching cassettes?
I mean, you know, you can still use some of those trinkets, which is fun. I like to, you know, I like to break out, the Deathbringer's will every now and then, just for the fun of it.
There is a time watching event right now, actually. Yeah.
Is there?
Cataclysm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, last for a couple more days. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the last time walking for a long time. So if you need anything from that, better do it.
Yeah, what can you get from that? I forget what you can get from it. Is there one was that the one where you can get the cool mount, number one, like the dragon mount?
Yeah, that's just a drop from the bosses, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like toys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this pre-patch, it feels like all I've really spent time doing, besides the initial logging in and organizing stuff, is like fishing.
Why?
Yeah. So what
Because
happened
they-
with fishing? I saw you post a bunch of stuff like that, and I didn't log into fish much, but what was going on with that? That looked crazy.
Well, in the garrison, if you have like a level 3 fishing shack, you can fish up this thing in there, and you throw it back in the water, and it spawns this murloc. And the murloc has a chance to drop turtle mounts. But in the patch, they changed it so it's personal loot. So you can have a raid of 40 people fishing, and then every time someone tosses one in, everyone gets to loot it. So
Oh my God.
I got like both of the rare turtle mounts in like a day.
Wait,
I thought they'd
going on?
nerf it. It's still going on, yeah.
Oh my god, I have to do that.
Just
Frog
search,
Farm,
like-
is that it?
I don't know if it's as popular as it was, but there was at one point there was like 20 or 30 40-man raids of fishing at one time in the group finder.
I said you just go to the group finder, right? I imagine just look for a group. That's hilarious.
And then
I mean,
after
has it
that,
been
I
like-
got- Sorry, I was just gonna say. Then you also get these other coins that you redeem from Nat Pagel to buy like the mount, and so after that, I'm like, well, I guess I gotta farm Nat Pagel rep. So there, I'm back in Pandaria fishing again. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
And did they change the way those water walking mounts work, or did they revert that too? Like, yeah,
They reverted it, yeah.
they
So-
reverted it. Okay, yeah, because I remember they were only going to work in certain places and not others, and it was going to get confusing, and so I wasn't sure if they did an about face there on that. But I mean, has those fishing been like that the whole expansion? I mean, it's I hadn't heard about that until you had mentioned it, which after 7.0, and I just imagined it probably was like that the whole time. No.
No, not for that where you could do 40 people
Okay.
or personal loot with it. So
Mhm.
Actually joining a group right now, trying to. Now that you said it. Because I had this in my head. I actually have one of the turtles already from back in Wrath, but
Yes, same here.
might as well
Yes.
get the other one.
So you can get the fishing one. That's the one you probably have, and you can also get the trading card one.
Yeah, the trading card one.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I've got the fishing one that you was for the turtles all the way down achievement. I got that like I don't know, a couple years back, I guess.
Oh, speaking about achievements. Well, I don't know if we were talking about achievements, but yeah. I actually, there's I just logged in a few days ago. I coming back from my vacation, and I realized that 10 years after getting my bow from Vanilla, doing the legendary gig or whatever you want to call it, the quest line for hunters back in the day, I actually got an achievement for it, saying obtain
Wow.
Rock Delar, longbow of the ancient keepers, and Lock Delar, stav. How do you say that? Stave,
Stave, I
Staff?
guess. Yeah.
stave
Oh.
of the ancient keepers. Like 2016. I'm pretty sure I got this in 2006.
Yes.
So 10 years later.
Mm.
Yes.
Was this when it was going through and checking all of the gear you had gotten for the transmog system?
I don't know. I guess it
Probably.
popped with everything else at the start.
So they're quest rewards. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Also, there's so few achievements for transmog. I thought there are gonna be so many appearances you have to get, but I already got all the achievements for it. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure they'll add more in the future.
Like
'Cause, yeah,
only
that's-
collect 100 chest slot appearances. 100 chests is nothing. I thought it was gonna be something like 500 or 1,000. Now yeah,
Are there that many?
probably. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot across all of the armor classes.
I guess if you have a lot of alts, it helps as well.
Oh, yeah. Huh. I didn't even think of that. I should probably log into my alts and make sure I'm getting credit for those too.
At this point, I'm mostly just waiting for the invasions to start. There's not really much else to do right now.
No, there's not. That's what I'm waiting for. Just like I said, like these invasions to come up. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll roll a demon hunter on Tuesday, or maybe I'll wait till like Thursday and give it a chance to die down a bit.
Huh.
But actually, I don't think I have a free slot right now. I used it to make a gnome hunter. Is what I took up my extra slot for. So I need to go delete somebody, I guess, if I'm going to do a demon hunter. Which
Are you up to 50 or just all 11 on your...
now I like to keep as many tunes as I can on the same realm, just because it's easier to give them gold and bags and things like that. But so if I want it on my main realm, then I gotta kill it, but kill one. So, well, all right. Well, unless anyone's got any other topics, we think we've killed an hour here with on a slow news week. So, going once, going twice.
I think we had one question.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Let's see. Hirsch TV. I don't know if I read that right. Just asked about thoughts on professions. What are you guys going to get? Armor profession and corresponding gathering, or all armor crafting?
I think I'll keep my engineering and leatherworking on my main, but on my alts I actually don't know yet. I think I might put some gathering stuff there and remove the ones that have double crafting professions. I might remove one of them. But I think on my main I want to keep leatherworking because it's my baby. I have it for as long as I have this bow that I told you, like 10 years. I'm not going to remove that. And engineering, I don't know, because usually engineering has this cool stuff, and instead of having goblin glider kits in my bags, I can just have it on my cloak and not worry about it. So I don't know. I'll probably stick to that.
And what do you have for your professions, Bendak?
I have the same professions on my main. I'm not going to change them either. Just, I mean, I've stockpiled so much gold from warlords that I'm not really worried about buying mats. I guess the only problem, it might not even be a problem, but the blood of Sargeras, I don't know how rare that's going to be, but maybe I'll have to, gatherers will have an easier time with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've got engineering and leatherworking on my main, and
We
I
all
don't know.
four have the same professions.
I don't think I'm going to change it, just because I've changed things in the past. In fact, I don't think I had leather working going into Warlords of Draenor. I think I changed it for that expansion. So, I mean, I've done that in the past, but I don't think I want to go through the hassle of learning a new profession. Although it's not that bad anymore, right? Because you can
Yeah, it was
level
super
up.
fast in Warlords.
Yeah, and you can start crafting stuff without having to be max level. So it's really not what it used to be. But as you say, it's that Blood of Sargeras, which is really the kind of gating issue, the one thing that just makes things a little bit more unpleasant. So I'll keep what I've got. I mean, you can make some gear with engineering now, right? Are there helmets and goggles and things you can still do?
Mm-hmm. The goggles have guns mounted on them.
So it's not completely useless in that sense. So, as you say, and it's not BOP, right? It's all BOE stuff. So,
Yeah.
As you said, Bendak, if you've got enough gold, which a lot of people do, you can just go and buy, an item here or there, if you need to fill out something. Yep. Again, BM Jaeger saying that the crafted gear, caps out at item level 850. So, and at least you're saying it'll be upgradable as well. So yeah, maybe it'll hold some value. So yeah, probably not a real need to go out there and change your professions up for this expansion, which is good.
Yeah, don't stress too much over it, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would like to see them do for the professions is make it so that you can just as soon as you use if you unlearn a profession and then you relearn it, you get all of the recipes that you knew before back. That would be the greatest thing. Then people would change professions way more often.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not doing that yet, at least. Hopefully in the future. We'll see.
Well, they really, I haven't been to the World of Warcraft site since they changed it. They really did change it up, didn't they? Wow.
Battle.net?
Yeah, just the worldofwarcraft.com. I mean, they changed kind of the look and feel of it. I knew it was changing, but yeah, it's really, they kind of modernized it a little bit. But anyway. So, on that note, then you have been listening to episode 243 of the Hunting Party Podcast. I'm Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Delirium from thrillofthewild.com and at Delirium Hunts on Twitter.
And I'm Bendak from Eyes of the Beast, Blizzard Watch, and Bendak WoW on Twitter.
And I'm Roger Brown from methodwow.com and at methodroger on Twitter.
All right, check us out on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or add our RSS feed to your reader, and we'll have all of these links in our show notes.
If you have a question or a topic you would like us to discuss on the show, email us at huntingpartypodcast@gmail.com or send us a tweet at huntingpartypod.
All right, stay thirsty, my friends, and remember to drink your dark brew lager.
Siempre festar la emoción de lo salvaje.
Keep your eyes on the beast.
And find the true method of hunting.
I'm still undecided. I haven't figured out what my new one's going to be.
Oh, not for Azeroth, though? I thought that was the new one, right? That was Varian's tagline, his battle cry for...
That just makes me sad, though.
Mm.
A life stealer, that's just the cost of being awesome sauce. A dues payer, a boss slayer, I rock out with my lockout I can jump shot, BM, MM, and SB. I can rock out any tree. worried about my threat, 'cause I've got FD and misdirect. Catching loose mobs in my traps. I never miss, 'cause I am hit capped. 'Cause I'm the hunter, not the marked. I'm the fighter, not the spark. I'm the kiter, not the kite. I'll top the meters every fight. Raiding and cave, dealing death. Just me, my gun, and my trusty bed. Now let's begin with Illidan, Osirian, and Gil'jadan, Magdamar, Asgalor, Gruul, Cthulhu, and Razorgore, Onyxia to Ragnaros. Which one have we killed the most? Kel'Thuzad to Malygos. We even killed Akama's ghost. Feels like we're getting close, all that running as a ghost. Anubarak, Yogg-Saron, Therian, Sartharian, Magtheridon, Saphiron, Lucifer to Sulfuron, Archelon, Amalon, Corellon, Algalon. The faction champions, the death toll rolling on and on. Garvale, Executus, Chromagus, and Jaraxus. No lure will kill this. We won't stop till we kill our boss.
All my deep skills, rocking on